The 21st International AIDS Conference is well underway in Durban, South Africa. About 18,000 people from 180 countries are attending the biennial meeting of the International AIDS Society. Thousands of protesters flooded the streets of Durban Monday, demanding access to treatment for the 20 million people across the world suffering from AIDS and tuberculosis. The demonstration was by members of the Treatment Action Campaign and civil society. The theme of this year's AIDS conference is Access, Equity, Rights Now, a call to work together and reach those who still have no access to comprehensive treatment, prevention, care, and support services. For more AIDS conference news, let's go to VOA's Anita Powell, who is standing by live via Skype in Durban, South Africa. Good evening, Anita.
Hi.
So improving medical access is the theme, and it's really being discussed during the conference. What are some of the highlights?
Right. So as the protesters pointed out yesterday, to just give one example, in South Africa, the country with the largest burden of HIV in the world, 7 million people have HIV, 3.1 million of them are on ARV treatment. Mm-hmm. So that's more than half of people who do not have ARV treatment. And so this is a big gap. This is a lot of people who need to be reached. And activists at this conference are really agitating to try to make treatment easier, to try to make it such that people don't have to run to the clinic every week to get their medication, maybe every 1 or 2 months, to make it such that they don't have to go through so many hassles to get their medication. So this is one of the many discussions that's happening at this really important conference.
And one other discussion is also the issue about cure. The big question is when we will see a cure for HIV/AIDS. What can you tell us? What is being said?
I'm going to repeat what the head of the International AIDS Society, Françoise Barré-Sinoussi, said when asked this very question this morning. She said, you know, we are getting closer and closer, thanks to gene therapy, thanks to stem cell therapy, thanks to really complicated science that I don't claim to understand. But, she said, our more realistic goal right now is long-term remission, and we think we are going to get there. So far, as she noted, and as other scientists noted, only one person has ever really been cured of HIV. That's that famous Berlin patient. Mm-hmm. They are working on a handful of other cases, and they look promising, but right now, long-term remission is the goal.
What about on the vaccine front? Any good news there?
Right. So we heard today that there will be a major vaccine trial, a larger vaccine trial in South Africa later this year. This is on the back of success of an earlier vaccine trial. So that's also looking very promising. But of course, this is very complicated scientists. These are some of the brightest minds in medicine, and they still haven't figured it out yet.
And so, Anita, we heard that the UN says that if the same level of commitment can be maintained, it could be eradicated by 2030. That's very optimistic.
Right. It is optimistic. And, you know, based on the statistical modeling, the math looks great. Here's the problem. Activists are saying unless we keep up the level of financial commitment and political will to really accelerate the fight against AIDS, this is a dream. So it's nice to say, you know, we might be done with AIDS in 14 years, but that's only if we keep up the fight at a very high level of energy. And some activists are saying that doesn't look like it's really happening. And
quickly, it's also a social event. What else is happening there?
So I spent my day talking about the root of, you know, one of the main transmission mode of HIV, which is sex. We have a lot of sex-positive activists here who are talking about the need to talk openly and frankly about sex as a way of educating people so they can make better sexual decisions and therefore maybe protect themselves against HIV.
Safe sex is key message there. Thank you so much, Anita.